Dear student, today's topic is Interpretive Sociology Part 2. Interpretive Sociology in Part 1, we have already discussed the meaning and definition of Interpretive Sociology. And besides this, we have also analyzed what the term positivism is and what the term interpretivism is. In that discussion, we have already classified the three important branches of interpretive sociology. That is, first is symbolic interactionism, and second is ethnomethodology, and third is phenomenology. In part 1, we have already discussed the views of Herbert Mead, Bloomer, Cohen, and Mumford, and Garfinkel also. Today's main topic is the remaining two branches of interpretive sociology is, that is, ethnomethodology and phenomenology. Before we discuss what ethnomethodology and phenomenology, we summarize few important aspects, few important talk about interpretive sociology. Interpretive sociology originated in the earlier 20th century by German sociologist Max Weber. Weber wrote many sociological works. His rich legacy includes the sociology of religion, as well as works on society, economics, politics, and government. Notable among them are the Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism. This is one of the important works of Max Weber. In that book, he analyzed the capitalism is directly or indirectly related with Protestant ethic. Besides this, the religion of India, the sociology of Hinduism and Buddhism, and economy and society. He wrote widely on a range of topics but focused on social action and the development of an interpretive sociology of power and dominance. This is one of the important contributions of Max Weber, that is social action, and besides social action, he also discussed about the interpretive sociology. Another major concern of Weber was the process of rationalization in modern society and the relationship of the word's religion with this process. He therefore studied 6 world important religions. His approach to sociology can be seen as an attempt to find a compromise with positivism and aimed to create a scientific sociology. In that discussion, in part 1, we have already discussed what positivism of Comte's and what interpretive sociology of Max Weber is. Weber defined sociology as the science that seeks an explanatory, that is interpretative, understanding of social action in order to have a causal explanation of its course and effect. Here, social action needs to be understood as mutually oriented action which is intentionally or intentional, meaning and symbolic. In contemporary sociology, we can say that the term refers to interaction. Interaction is a part of sociology. When two or more than two persons come together, come in contact with each other, they influence each other with action and reaction. That is the process of social action, and this is known as interaction. In that discussion, that is in part 1, we have already discussed symbolic interactionism, that is the one important branch of interpretive sociology. Today we discuss two important branches, that is ethnomethodology and phenomenology. The interpretive sociology or approach has given rise to diverse theoretical traditions of sociology under the general category of social constructionist approach. Some of the most prominent of these are symbolic interactionism. This symbolic interactionism was developed by Herbert Mead, Bloomer, Goffman, and Cohen as well. Similarly, dramaturgy, which has been already discussed in Interpretive Sociology Part 1, here we will describe the following more theoretical traditions, that is ethnometeorology and phenomenology. First we discuss what ethnometeorology is. Ethnometeorology has been considered a new development in sociology under the search of truth or study of phenomena. That is, this type of approach is known as the micro level approach, through which we study the day-to-day activities of human society. This method of study has challenged the traditional ideologies, because when we talk about the traditional ideologies, that was focused on macro level studies like conflict approach or structural functional approach, etc. But this is micro level approach, particularly focus on day-to-day action, day-to-day activities of human being in the social world. The common man came to know about it when Harold Garfinkel used it in his book. This approach has challenged many ideologies and traditional study methods. This approach mainly emphasizes on studying those aspects of human behavior which are related to normalized and practical activities of day-to-day life of the individuals. This is particularly focus on day-to-day activities of man, because man is directly or indirectly related with day-to-day activities, and they want to fulfill all the needs through day-to-day activities. Therefore, ethnometeorology believes in studying social reality directly and closely. Although the term ethnometeorology may seem long and confusing, once we break the term into two parts, that is ethno and methodology, what it means become much simpler. The term ethnometeorology was coined by Harold Garfinkel, who is best known for the study of his work in ethnometeorology. What ethnometeorology means, that is meaning and definition of ethnometeorology. The word ethno is related to individuals. The word methodology is related to strategy through which we want to conduct our research. Just as the word ethnomedicine, ethnophysics and ethnobotany denote a specific branch of knowledge, in the same way ethnometeorology is not a strategical method of sociological analysis. This is not a research methodology, but it is a way by which ordinary people in contextual situation and through communication derive meaning from. Therefore, this theory does sociological analysis by specific theoretical method rather than the research method of sociology. This is not a methodology of research. This is a type of study based on day-to-day activities, based on day-to-day action of human society. This approach construct and analyze the particular social reality in which the member of a society interact with each other through means of communication, through specific methods which are expressed in day-to-day event. So many words we use in day-to-day action, and this methodology emphasizes on these special words which are used by men in their day-to-day activities. Ethnometeorological studies analyze everyday activities as members' methods for making those same activities visibly rational and reportable for all practical purposes. Francis Abrahams defined as ethnometeorology is the study of common sense methods employed by people to understand everyday activities by constructing and maintaining social reality. According to Bernard Phillips, ethnometeorology is a theoretical approach which aims to describe how people define and shape reality in their everyday action. On the basis of all these definitions, we can classify the whole ethnometeorology on three different parts, that is important three facts related with ethnometeorology. Ethnometeorology mainly gives importance to three facts. These are one day-to-day activities, language and its social aspect, and normative aspects of situation and reality of processes of compliance of norms by individuals in specific context situation. The first is day-to-day activities. The followers of this method emphasize that the social reality which humans create through social interaction in the society should be studied in it. This is the main point of study, that is activities of day-to-day life of this social reality or the human society. Traditional sociologists considered social reality as a given under which a stable view of social structure emerges, while the promoters of ethnomethodology considered social structure as a dynamic and changing phenomena. Traditional sociologists neither tend to do micro-scale study nor do they analyze events related to day-to-day life, but this is the macro-level study particularly focused on day-to-day activities. Therefore, it was thought that those small and day-to-day incidents in the society which are related to human beings should also be studied. That's why Garfinkel developed this method known as ethnomethodology. He says that there should be an interest in studying the day-to-day words. His belief was that you look around you and everywhere you find ordinary people going about their day-to-day activities in a familiar way. And this type of activities or actions are different from society to society. And the second part is language and its social aspect. When we talk about the language, language is one of the important means of communication. Language has its own special importance. Language which has been used by men for the communication of their thoughts and for the transfer of culture from generation to the generation. That binds us to the formal order. The words we use do not have the same meaning that is found in the dictionary. It is the grammatical meaning that comes out of it. But there is also a specific and social perspective of the words, which is emphasized to be understood. Turner, Cicero has emphasized on the socio-linguistic aspect. They say that we can understand the true meaning of language only in the context of particular situation. The same types of sentence takes on different meaning when the situation changes. For example, we say today's best environment. This has several meaning. From time to time, this has been changing from one society to another also. In the context of the social aspect of words, Garfinkel also mentions the term glozing practices, under which it was on the basis of familiarity with the situation and common sense. It is also accepted that about 90% of the words that people talk to each other use a glozing practices, the meaning of which is understood by those in the right perspective who interact in that particular situation. Like when a guest arrives at home, the husband tells his wife to bring tea and to bring something with the tea. Mother tells her son that if you go to the vegetable market, bring potatoes, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, etc. along with fruits. Here the word some, etc., etc. This is known as the glozing practices are used in the form of glozing practices, which means the person living in that situation on the basis of common sense. We understand this type of glozing practices through our understanding and past history. On the basis of past history and with the help of common sense, we understand what the word has meaning. This is known as language has its own social aspect. And the third important part is normative aspect of situations and reality of processes of compliance of norms by individuals in specific context situation. This is known as interpretive paradigm. This approach has emphasized that the way individual use social norms, when he speaks something, always in their mind they have the normative aspect of society and bring them into practice. Social norms are simple and abstract, but if the reality of society is to be understood, then it has to be understood in such a way that how different people use those norms themselves in a specific situation. From society to society, norms and values and patterns are different, and on the basis of that norms, patterns and values, people use the words for interaction or day-to-day activities. In any structure, the kind of accuracy that is observed by the patterned model, it will be stable as well as its result will be predetermined, because our prior belief determine the result of any social action. That's why we have to try to know the actual behavior by separating from the preconceived notions and stereotype, because this can provide true meaning to all the aspects of the social phenomena. This is the method through which we study in the right perspective. Ethnomethodology emphasizes that individual differences should be found in a structure to know the truth, such that any class cannot be understood in terms of how smart and weak students are in the class. How is the effort of the individual student in the structure of the class? How they follow the disciplinary rules at their individual levels? Personal information about all these is necessary, and social structure does not always remain the same but is changing. And this is the point of study of ethnomethodology. Thus, ethnomethodology actually lays emphasis on the discharge behavior, which is the determining factor of individual status. On the basis of the all above explanation, some features of ethnomethodology can be clarified. On the basis of that, we can clarify that how ethnomethodology studied the social phenomena, social world or social reality. The first is social realism lays emphasis on studies. He is interested in knowing the incidents that happen in the real life of a human being by seeing, hearing and understanding them. Emphasizes the study of day-to-day events, day-to-day activities, day-to-day action of the individuals in the society. Emphasis on meaning. In this approach, events are not as important as knowing the understanding the true meaning of those events. Between two or more than persons, they influence to each other is known as interaction, and emphasizes study through general knowledge. With the help of common sense, we understand what type of action is and what is the meaning of that action. This is the whole discussion about the ethnomethodology by Garfinkel. The third important branch is phenomenology. Phenomenology, one of the important branch to know day-to-day action of the human being in the social structure or in the society. The origin of the word phenomenology is believed to be from the Greek word phenein, which means to show. Hence, the meaning of the word phenomenon is that which is seen, that which appears. Phenomenology is generally sense means systematic study of events or scene. From this point of view, this method coordinates philosophy and science. Sometimes we say that this is a branch of philosophy, and similarly at the same time we say this is a branch of sociology also. Phenomenology is in its limited interpretation means the study of phenomena, that is social phenomena, the interpretation of things as they are in themselves. Edmund Husserl, a philosopher and mathematician from Germany, brought this approach into the form of an educational movement. This is one type of methodology which studied the social events at macro level. This is also based on macro level perspective, macro level study. There is no single meaning of phenomenology. It has been said that there are as many phenomenology as there are phenomenologists. This reflects the diversities, heterogeneity, uncertainty, and ideological differences of phenomenology, which is in line with the basic ideology of phenomenology. Scholars such as Max Scheler, Mostyn Giger, Martin Heidegger, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, Jean-Paul Sartre, etc. are associated with this approach. Max Scheler discussed the theory of ethics and values on the basis of phenomenological approach. Heidegger, who was a student of Husserl, was concerned with the problem of ontology, under which he explained the fundamental problem of being. He popularized the term existentialism. Sartre and Ponty accepted Husserl's method but were interested in elaborating the idea of human existence. His writings are associated with existential philosophy. Alfred Schutz, a student of Husserl, said the foundation for the sociological phenomenology approach. Meaning and definition of phenomenology. This is a type of method to study the social events with the philosophy of the society, philosophy of an individual, and philosophy of based on the community. Many scholars have defined phenomenology in their own way. They say that taking things in the same sense as they appears in consciousness. It means this type of methodology is totally based on the consciousness, awareness. It is written in the Encyclopedia of Social Science that it is a method of philosophy which began with man, and whatever man gets from his own experience is included in it. The doer perceives the events as they are in their true forms. In this sense, phenomenologists essentially call it subjectivism. This is not objective study, this is simply say the subjective study of the social phenomena. Defining phenomenology, social scientists say that it is a branch of knowledge which emphasizes on the observation of reality, not on the basis of abstraction. Natson says that this phenomenology is a catalyst approach which includes all those situations in which there is a sense of priority of awareness or consciousness, and through which the meaning of social action is discussed from the individual point of view. At the macro level, we study the situation of society, the behavior of the society, and with the help of the consciousness and awareness, we studied the social phenomena, social reality. George Peters, in his book Phenomenological Sociology, names a method, approach, and philosophy. Alfred Schultz says that it is difficult to understand social reality by natural methods because social phenomena are complex, and on the other hand, at the same time of studying social phenomena, we can change the meaning given by the individual to the society. Schutz, in his book Phenomenology of the Social World in 1932, Weber's sympathetic and researched analysis on hermeneutic society was presented, in which social action can be understood by providing true meaning. Hence, Merleau-Ponty said that to lay the foundation of philosophy, it is not necessary that we should degrade applied sciences or philosophy to lay the foundation of applied sciences. Both are important when we want to study the social phenomena. The quest of phenomenology is to find the existence of things. Their basic point is that what is the reality and truth in the society. In this regard, Husserl, who was the first pioneer of the theory, told in his works that it is a study that is interested in knowing those things which are perceived by individuals through their senses. There is no speculations anywhere in this. Husserl even says that speculation should always be avoided in sociology. Phenomenology is a new method of study in which the phenomena is analyzed as it is seen. Herolombus states that from phenomenological perspective, the social world is a world of meaning. There is no objective reality which lies behind the meaning. Thus, the social world is not made up of entities which are external to the subjective experiences of its members. To treat its aspect as social fact as things distort and misinterpret the social reality. Views of Husserl. Husserl published two books on the phenomenological approach to sociology. His first book, Phenomenology and the Crisis of Western Philosophy, was published in 1936, and the second book, Ideas, General Introduction to Pure Phenomenology, was published in 1969. Schultz further revised the ideas presented by Husserl. Husserl studied phenomenology, elucidated as a new method in which, like the scientific method, there is neither formulation of hypothesis nor reaching a conclusion on the basis of a statement. In this approach, the researcher has to describe with the help of observation, description, classification. It allows observation of structure in nature, which is not possible in the experimental method. He seriously contemplated on his approach, criticized the study method of sociology prevalent at that time on the basis of certain arguments. As a result of criticism, he said that this is a philosophy, study method, a new sociological approach. The sociology propounded by him is a philosophy, explores reality based on anthropology in a philosophy program. Under this study method, the essence is discovered, those who are not affected by the social or cultural environment. The process of consciousness is essential for acquiring knowledge, and therefore in any research one must first know how the process of consciousness works. How do human activities affect? The great foundation before us is understanding the process of consciousness and observing how our experiences create external reality. The process of consciousness in the brain by which external reality is known is the central study material of phenomenology. If these incidents are studied by the traditional sociological study method, then perhaps the reality cannot be known. So, it is an important method. What is Husserl's ontology of life words as an act of understanding the social world, in which the true meaning of those real situations is to be understood, in which the person has a method of understanding the reality and circumstances of human society on the basis of his personal experience or on the basis of the consciousness of the individuals. The society and situation in which a person lives, spend his life, make some preconceived notions about it. Husserl says that the structure of the living world must be studied, in which the individuals participating use their preconceived structure. Similarly, the views of Alfred Schultz, he was a prominent German philosopher and scholars who criticized Nazism atrocities in Germany. For this reason, Hitler fled from the country and came to America, where he contributed to phenomenology after coming in contact with many scholars. Schultz initially took up a job in a US bank as well as teaching social philosophy at the New School, a sociological research institute. From there, he was appointed as professor of sociology. Studying here, he reads Husserl's phenomenology and also expressed his thoughts about it. To explain phenomenology, Sud said that Max Weber emphasizes the study of human action in sociology and tries to explain these human actions according to the meaning given by them. Sud says that Weber's explanation does not reach the depth of social knowledge, so we have to explain it further. Weber has left the meaning that is contained in any phenomena of the social world to the subjectivity of the individuals. According to Sud, one has to go further to the roots of social phenomena, even in what is visible. This is further extension of Weber's views that is developed by Sud's, known as phenomenological approach of Sud's. He says that social phenomena partly contained in the concept of common sense should be studied scientifically in sociology. This is the difference between the natural scientist and social scientist. The object of thought that sociologists create are also based on the fact of thoughts that humans create in their day-to-day life in contact with their fellow beings. Thus, we need to adopt such an approach in sociology which can study day-to-day life on the one hand and our natural perspective on the other hand. This approach is what Sud calls the phenomenological approach. Adopting this approach means that we study the talent of the doer in it, which is specially formed in relation to his social environment. Thus, Sud has given three basic aspects of the phenomenological perspective: the reciprocity of perspective, the social origin of knowledge, and the social distribution of knowledge. In this way, Sud has emphasized on drawing a clear line between two aspects in the construction of concepts in sociology. Either we study social life in the same way as the natural scientists study their objects, or it should be the aim of the social scientist that they perceive social reality in the form in which man experiences in his day-to-day life by living in his social world. Sud says that whatever we choose in these two aspects, it has to be accepted by the main objectives of sociological study will be to study human behavior in its essential aspect in the vast jungle of the structure of common knowledge. In this type of study, creating specific models, we have to understand human action from the point of view of the doers. This means that we have to develop a methodological individualism. In short, we can say that this phenomenological approach insists on the fact that we try to understand objective meaning through a system of objective concept. There is a difficulty which Sud's generality, that is, if we try to understand sociological concept on the basis of the assumptions of common sense, then how will there be objectivity in our knowledge? That will be our knowledge, it will remain extremely limited. Sociology will remain as an individual science and not as a social science. It means there are three important branches of interpretive sociology which is based on, first is symbolic interactionism, is based on symbols used by men for their day-to-day action. Similarly, ethnomethodology, with the help of common sense we understand the meaning of the action. And third is phenomenology, which is based on the philosophy and through which we want to understand what social reality is and what society is and what social world is and what social action is.